All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started with episode 43 of the Midnight Channel. Welcome, everyone. We are back tonight to talk about some fun topics. I'm back with Brandon. Brandon's back after a short hiatus. No Berto or Ivan, unfortunately, but we do have a brand new guest, and I'll go ahead and let him introduce himself now.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so my
Go ahead.
name's Russ. I am a collector of video games. I play a lot of them, collect a lot of them. Currently, I'm like, I think 10 games from having 1,000. So I'm hoping to hit that this year. But yeah, play a lot of Overwatch. I mostly play single player games, but Overwatch is like my main multiplayer game.
Okay. What would you say you collect the most of?
Um, I think currently my biggest collection is my PS4 games, but I'm trying to go for a complete GameCube collection,
Ooh, how's that
which
going?
is all right. It's slow. I'm just kind of trying to pick up all the cheap little games first. It's gonna be rough because there's a lot of
Yeah.
games that are stupidly expensive.
Yep.
I went to too many games last year, or no, it was this year, and they had Pokemon Box for $9,000. And I feel like that's a game that I'm just gonna have to find somewhere like at a thrift store or something that they don't know what they have. But
Yeah.
that's gonna be incredibly lucky if I find that.
That's I think video game hunting is progressively getting harder and harder because of the internet and even people that just have yard sales
Hmm.
just looking it up. Oh, okay, I have this. How much is it worth? They look it
Hmm.
up and they see it. Okay, maybe I can do something close to that. They
Yeah.
they see it brand new for like 100, but theirs isn't brand new, so they put it like at 90.
Yep.
So it's a
It's a
it's a little
bad
hard.
feeling when you see. Yeah, it's a bad feeling when you see them look it up right in front of you too.
Yeah. I did a collab with Max like a few months ago, and someone else that was on the collab. He collects video games at a thrift store, and he gets the jackpot like every single time he goes, and I don't know how he does it.
Me either. I have never found anything good at a thrift store.
The best thing that I've got is Marissa. She found it for me was Red Dead and Assassin's Creed Black Flag on the 360. Those were the best things that,
Oh,
and the Red Dead still had like the map that it came with.
wow,
I think
that's
I
impressive.
think I have it over here. Let me see. Yeah. So this is the. It's pretty clean too. This is the copy that
Wow,
that she found, and it has the map in here and the manual.
wow.
So
The best I ever find is like sports games.
yeah, yeah. That's what it mostly is.
Hmm.
The second best, which sucked because I didn't have money. I just went because I wanted to look around with my girlfriend and my sister. Was I found some Wii U games, which are getting a little bit harder to collect, but I didn't have money to get them.
Oh,
And on the conversation, it's not part of the topics list, but I did want to ask since we're on the collecting video games, has there ever been whether when you were a kid or younger or whatever, is there have you ever traded in a game that you will forever regret trading in?
yes. I traded in Pokemon Coliseum and XD,
Oh,
and I had to buy those back. That was awful. I think
uh,
I want to say I paid like at the time 150 each for them or something like that. It was rough.
man. Do you have Radiant Dawn or Path of
No,
Radiance? Path of Radiance.
no,
Oh,
I
that's gonna
don't.
suck.
I know. I
Uh,
think last time I looked, that one was like a couple hundred. I want to
yeah.
say it was like 400 last time I looked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Brandon, has there been a game that you've traded in that you regret or not really?
No, none that I can remember.
Okay.
Not notable enough. I wish I had Pokemon X still. I don't have that anymore.
Hmm. Which is weird. Pokemon games sell so well, but they go for so much resell. Like
Mhm.
after a while, I it's
And one's not
crazy.
that bad.
Which one?
Gen 1's not that bad.
Yeah, Gen 1,
You can
you're right. You're right. Gen 1 is
Especially if it's
probably
a
one of
Japanese copy.
yeah,
You can get a
Mhm.
you can get a in the box complete Japanese copy of Pokemon Yellow for probably like less than 100
yeah.
if you look hard
Yeah.
enough.
But like look at like Heart Gold and Soul Silver especially. I think those are. I'm never
Yeah.
gonna. Mm-mm.
Those are rough.
Yeah,
That's
I
a holy
think
grail. What if you don't have it already?
yeah. I think for me the biggest one that I regret ever trading in, and I don't even remember trading it in, but I'm pretty because I can't find it anywhere. So I think that's the only thing that I can come to the conclusion to, and that was when I didn't have a job, but I really wanted my Switch, so I traded in some Wii U games, and I think one of the games I traded in was Xenoblade X,
Ooh.
which sucks because I got that at launch because I was really excited for
Mhm.
it, and I never fully beat it, but I did get far into it, and I don't know. I That's the only thing I can think of. The only thing I can think of is that it was one of the Wii U games that I did trade in because I can't find it.
Mhm.
However, I didn't trade in Twilight Princess HD, which I'm glad about because for some reason Twilight Princess HD is one of the hardest ones to find.
I am so happy that I ended up getting that one for Christmas. That
Mm-hmm.
was just like a lucky present, and I'm really glad I have it.
Yeah, did yours come with the? Did all the copies come with the Wolflink amiibo, or was it just some of them?
I think it was all of them because it's
Okay.
just a regular edition with an amiibo. I don't think it. I don't think it was like a special edition or anything.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember ever seeing it separately.
Okay. Yeah. Uh oh, you trade in Soul Silver, so no man. I have something I hate. Oh man. My copy of Heart Gold just disappeared too, but I don't know what happened to that copy. That copy I don't know what happened. I had the Pokewalker and everything. I used to use it. I don't know what happened to it. I, f-
Oh no.
I feel like like it got stolen when I was in or middle school. I mean, I think when I was in middle school it got stolen or something. That's the only thing I can think of too for
Mhm.
that.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
I use the Pokewalker a lot too. So I think the Pokewalker was thrown away because it just stopped working. I think that one my mom threw away, and the one this one wasn't my fault, but I will never forgive my dad. He gave my N64 away to a cousin in Mexico, and I think
No.
my cousin in Mexico never used it, so I think they threw it away.
Oh, that's painful.
Yeah, so that hurts. But that one wasn't my fault. That one wasn't my
Mhm.
fault. That was my dad. All right. Yeah, so I love talking about video game collecting, so that was fun. All right,
Mhm.
so let's go ahead and talk about what we've been playing. Brandon, you can say first. What have you been up to, friend?
Just Overwatch.
Overwatch, that's it? Day and night abusing you?
Just
uh,
Overwatch.
how's it been going for you?
Been Overwatch.
Is it Overwatch?
Oh
But
well.
but you love it.
In some way.
In some way you love it. Okay. All right, what about you, Russ? What have you been up to?
That's pretty much the same with me. Just Overwatch. I played it Sunday. I played 15 games and I lost every single one of them.
Oh,
That was I played it for the first time again yesterday. It took me
okay.
that long to play it again.
Yeah, the game it's such an addicting gameplay loop, but it's like I don't know. Overwatch is the first game because even when I play Call of Duty, and I played a lot of Call of Duty when I was in high school and late middle school, Call of Duty never really made me mad. But when I lose in Overwatch, for I don't know why, like even in Splatoon, it doesn't make me. I mean, I get upset a little bit in Splatoon if I'm on a losing streak, but I never get mad. Overwatch is the only one that's ever made me mad.
I get tilted in Overwatch pretty easily. I think it's because it's such a team-based game, and there's so many times where I'm on a team where they don't work together. And
Hmm.
I play healer, so it's frustrating to me when my team just disperses and I can't heal them.
We're all support players here. So, um, what do you think of Kiriko?
I want to main her so bad. I have a lot of fun when I play as her. I
Yeah.
mostly play Moira and Mercy and
Oh,
Lucio.
okay.
So I'm used to not really aiming that much. So trying to aim her kunai is difficult, but I'm
Yeah.
still having fun with her.
Okay. Yeah, I like using her and Brig are the ones I've been using the most. I'm a really big Brig fan, and I've been using her for a while. So I go back and forth whether I like her bash doing damage or I want the stun back, with the stun's not coming back. But
Did they
uh,
buff her healing?
I don't think so.
Because she seemed to be healing more. I don't know if that was just me, or
Uh,
maybe if she was somebody was hit by a nade or something I didn't notice.
yeah, I don't. Brandon, do you know?
Yeah, she wasn't buffed from my knowledge. She's
Huh.
only nerfed, I believe, going in this game.
I think,
No.
yeah, I think she's nerfed going in. I think all the healers are nerfed going in, aren't they? Aside from Moira, I think
No,
Moira's a lot better now.
no, buffs are given out. I think Lucio got a buff. I think
For
Mercy
damage?
got no, I think he got a small healing buff.
Oh, okay. I thought
Because
most of the
technically
supports got
the
shafted.
heal passive, well,
Oh, you're right.
technically the heal passive upped your self healing. So I think he got a self healing buff.
Did Mercy's passive
Might be
change at
wrong.
all?
No, I think they didn't touch Mercy, so everyone got Mercy's passive, and then she pretty much lost a passive because of it.
Mhm.
I think she's the exact same. I'd have to check the patch notes to double check.
I know that they changed her controls a little bit, so now her super jump is just a button instead of trying to press 5 buttons at once,
Yeah.
which I
This was
appreciate.
this was the fifth rendition of it.
Wow.
They've gone through a bunch of versions of the super jump. In the beta, it was really bad. In the second
Oh
beta, it was
yeah.
also really bad.
The
Mhm.
oh my god, because they made you look in the direction you wanted to jump in, so it just made it really dumb.
Mhm. I felt like I did it way too much by accident too.
Yeah.
It was too easy to just fly up in the air, and then I'd always get shot.
And then sometimes, then there was one rendition that they made it automatic, where like at the end of it, you'd automatically go up. That was stupid. I
Hmm.
don't know. I don't know what was going on through their heads with that one.
I don't know.
Because what happened a lot with that is you'd go in for a res, and as soon as you start resing, you get sent straight up and out of the res.
That's just frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Obviously, big one I forgot. Zen got a massive buff with his kick
Oh,
and his
Oh,
yeah.
HP. He became a huge problem in Owl for a little bit, and they toned it back a little bit. He's pretty comfortable now. And then the biggest thing, Baptiste got a massive buff with his Regenerative Burst, his Shift ability. Um, it now heals 50 instantly
I love that.
to
mm,
everyone, and will do another 50 over time. Um, and the instant heal portion would be doubled if people are below 50%.
wow. I didn't know that about the below 50% part.
Dang. Yeah. So there's that. What are your overall thoughts on Overwatch 2, Russ?
Gameplay wise, I feel like it's a complete improvement over one. I feel like the game feels better to me. I
Okay.
also kind of prefer the 5v5 over 6v6.
Okay.
I think it makes it feel like you play tanks totally different.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like tanks are just almost like a third DPS at this point, just a beefier DPS.
That's how they made it. That's how they designed it.
Mhm. I do have to say though that I really like Arissa's rework. I think she's a lot of fun to play as. I did not like her before. I liked her. I don't remember what it's called. The ball that like sucked everybody in. Like on Elios, I love to try to pull
Oh,
people into
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
little well. But I think her kit now is really fun.
Yes.
Uh, I also was very frustrated with the launch of it.
Yes. Thank you for
I,
the
t-
resub.
I I left work early on Tuesday to be able to play it,
Uh,
and I just kept getting an error. I couldn't get in. I had already taken Wednesday off to play it. I was never able to get in. Thursday, I tried all day and I couldn't get in. I finally was able to play like Friday at like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that the launch was rough. It was really rough. But on the bright side, did you see the rewards that we get?
I did.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm happy with it.
I
I kind of feel like we should have got a mythic skin. Like, I don't want to be greedy, because I mean it's nice that they're giving us anything at all for it.
mm-hmm.
But I just feel like what they're giving is just kind of eh. I do like the Reaper skin though.
Yeah, the Reaper skin is really good. I think originally the Reaper skin was gonna be part of the ones that you have to buy, and they just made it free.
Mm-hmm.
I like the medkit, the healing pack charm. I think that's cute. But
Yeah.
I do think you're right, because I also don't want to sound greedy, and I'm not one of the people that did this, but you took the day off of work. You took the day off of work. It was like 3 straight days. I had students that didn't come into school on Tuesday because they wanted to play Overwatch 2. They didn't get to play. They didn't get to play Overwatch 2. And they missed a lot of the stuff that they wanted to do at school that day.
Right.
I was going to take the day off, and then I thought about it, and I was scared of launch problems, so I didn't. And I'm glad that I didn't. And it's just like that's 2 people that already debated on it, and there were 25 million players the first week. I'm just trying to think of how many people like that messed up, like how many plans got completely shafted in that time. So I
I
do
was kind of
agree.
hopeful. I was hopeful that they would have had a good launch because I think it was Diablo 2
Uh-huh.
where they had a completely horrible launch where like servers were shut down and nobody could play it. So I was kind of hopeful that they learned their lessons from the last time. With Blizzard being such a big company, I would have thought that they would have had servers to be able to handle it, not have to wait in a queue for 2 hours.
Well, if what they said is true, um, what sucks, they got DDoS twice
Mm-hmm.
on the first day, so that
Yep.
that was unfortunate. But after the DDoS, they still had issues, so that's when I'm like, maybe first day if you get DDoS, that's a pass. That sucks.
Uh-huh.
But after that, you're a multi-billion-dollar company. You should excuse me, you should have some better servers.
Exactly.
So, but it's good now. I haven't had any issue.
Yep.
Some only issue I've had, which was really bad one day, hasn't really happened since. Very, very small instances of it is like really crazy rubber banding, even though my internet is good.
I am actually really happy you said that because I thought that was a problem on my end.
No, I think that's the game. I also thought that was a problem with me. But it seems like it's random, and yeah, it seems like it's random, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
It seems to happen in almost every game I play, and I used to play wired only, hardwired only, but when I moved, I have not had the ability to route my router to my computer with a wire. So playing on Wi-Fi is kind of what made me worried that that was the issue, but I guess it's good to know that it's not that.
No, it's not. It's balanced out recently, but there was like one day last week that was really bad. I don't know, Brandon, have you had any trouble with that?
No, I haven't had any rubber banding issues. I had one bug in a comp game where I was playing Ana, and it felt like I was walking through quicksand, and then when I jumped into the air, it felt like I was trying to figure out where my position should be, and it was like moving me around, and it felt very floaty and bad. But I
Mm-hmm.
swapped to Moira, and it worked perfectly fine, and never happened again.
Okay. All right. You guys have any final thoughts on Overwatch 2 before we move on?
I don't think so. I think I've ranted about it enough.
Okay. All right. Last thing I'm gonna mention, because you mentioned versus Kit, and I completely forgot to. I saw a really funny thing because you mentioned pulling people into the well. I saw it on TikTok where everyone was there, the whole enemy team was there, and the enemy Orisa jumped into the well and before falling down, used her ult, and it pulled everyone into the well with her. So the whole team died with her, and it was really funny to watch.
That probably felt really good to do a kill like that.
Yeah, it's so dumb, but it's funny that worked. So that's the last thing I wanted to mention because I wanted to talk about it earlier. All right, yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about recent gaming releases for the past 2 weeks. Which the first one on there is Overwatch 2. It released October 4th. I didn't get a Metacritic score, just because I don't like doing that for live services. But I did check, and I think the user score was like less than 2, and I'm pretty sure that's just because of the launch.
Mm-hmm.
And then
That makes sense.
Nier Automata launched for Switch October 6th. That one has a Metacritic of 89 and a user of 7.9. Brandon, you have Nier Automata.
Yeah.
Are you gonna planning on playing that anytime soon?
No.
No. Oh god. A mosquito in here.
Maybe,
That's
I don't know,
annoying me.
at some point. So
Okay.
here.
Oh, at least you have it there.
Yeah.
At least
Shout
you
out
have
to
it
Jay
there.
Free.
Yeah. What about
That
you,
was
Russ?
a gift from Jay Free. I just
When did he give it to you? Last year?
last Christmas.
Okay.
I just hasn't I haven't felt like it.
Yeah, it's a game that you need to be in the mood for.
I will at some point, definitely.
Okay. All right. At least you have it in mind. What about you, Russ? Do you have you played Nier Automata?
I started it, and then something with the gameplay that I don't want to spoil made me not want to play it anymore.
Ooh, okay.
It's definitely more of a me thing. There's nothing wrong with the game. I don't think it's bad or anything. It's just a weird gimmick I don't like in games.
Okay. That's understandable. All right. Well, yeah, I heard that this Switch port is very good, which I had faith that it would be good, but man, Square Enix is so weird with their Switch ports. Why was this a native port but not Kingdom Hearts?
That surprised me, honestly. I would have thought that this would have been another like cloud release.
Yeah, I agree. It feels like this should have been the cloud release and Kingdom Hearts should have been the native release.
Mm-hmm.
And not to like talk down on the sell potential of Nier, but I think Kingdom Hearts would have sold extremely well as a native port on Switch.
I think it would have too. There's a lot of people that want to replay it, and being able to play it on the Switch, I think it's like the perfect console to play it.
Mm-hmm. It was just really baffling. Their decisions are really baffling. But
I almost wonder if they did a native port just because of how pretty Nier Automata is. Like the game's graphics are really, really good.
Yeah.
So I don't know if maybe they were worried that a cloud service version of it just wouldn't be able to hold up.
Maybe. I don't. It's hard to tell with Square Enix, but at least they're giving me Octopath 2, so I can't complain too much. And then the last thing that came out today that I haven't heard anything about. Did it actually come out today? Did it? Let me check. Yeah, it did come out today. I still haven't heard anything about it though. It's Scorn.
I want to play this really bad.
I haven't seen anything about it. I saw the reveal trailer is the only thing that I've seen about it.
Yeah, it's like a. It reminds me almost of like Doom, maybe, just because it's like a horror themed first person shooter, but like your weapons are all made of like bodies and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It just looks like super creepy, and I'm really into horror and stuff like that, so it's like right up my alley.
Okay. Have you been keeping up with the game?
I just like a little bit of news here and there. I was trying not to watch too much on it because I wanted to play it and experience it for myself.
Okay. And
So I'll
what
probably be picking it up soon.
come out today? Do you have an Xbox or are you gonna get on PC?
I have an Xbox.
Okay. That's on Game Pass, right?
I want to say yes.
Okay, cool. Then that works. Are you or do you want to get it like for yourself, like to buy it?
I'll probably try it first, since I have Game Pass, and
Okay.
if I really like it, then I'll buy it.
That's what I've really gravitated to. I've been gravitating to on Xbox only playing my games on Game Pass, and if I want to own it, I usually get it on other consoles.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm using it for too. It definitely saves money too because I end up not liking a lot of games I buy, so it's nice to be able to try them before I buy them.
Yeah, especially with so many that you get.
Yep.
I think the only Xbox games that I'm interested in collecting are the backwards compatible ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even have a disk drive on my Xbox. I just have the Series S.
Oh, okay. I managed to get a Series X for a friend, but then they didn't need it anymore, but it wouldn't let me cancel it. So and I was debating, do I want do I want to like spend time taking it back, or should I just keep it? And then I was peer pressure to keep it. So it's mine now.
Yeah.
I have my Series X right there next to my PS5.
At that point, it's easier just to keep it.
Yeah. So those are the recent releases. I do remember the reveal trailer for Scorn, and I do remember being interested in it. So I'm excited. And speaking of uh horror-based first-person shooters, or is it gonna be? Is it? No, that game's third person. Let me check. I've seen this game so many times, and I can't remember it's first person or third person. It's third person. Uh, are you excited for Callisto Protocol?
Very. That game looks so good.
Yeah, it looks really really good. And what about the Dead Space remake?
I I just saw that there was going to be a special edition of that, and I'm honestly tempted. I've never played Dead Space before. That was a game I've always wanted to try.
Oh, okay.
So I say I love horror games or horror in general, but the games freak me out. I
Me
have a
too.
really hard time playing horror games, and that's when I started streaming. Was I streamed Resident Evil because I was afraid to play it by myself, and now I don't find Resident Evil scary. It's just a puzzle game to me at this point.
Okay. I'm playing through Alien Isolation at the moment, and
Oh boy.
I'm a big baby. That game is giving me a lot of anxiety when I'm playing it.
Yeah.
I get bursts of confidence where I'm not scared because of chat, and then there are times where I'm just like there and I'm like trying hiding in the locker
Uh-huh.
when I'm not even supposed to be hiding in the locker.
That's another game I want to play, but it scares me that the alien can like learn from you. I don't know, like the thought of it learning just freaks me out.
I didn't even know it does that, so now I'm even more freaked
Yeah,
out. I didn't know
yeah.
that
I
it
guess
learns from you.
yeah, I could tell like how you play, and it'll start to like learn your habits, I guess. And
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why did no one tell me this? Oh no. I need to just start speed running this game and start like you know what, that makes sense because I went to like there was like this hallway, it's like a circle, and there's a room in the middle and a med bay to the right. And I went to get something from the med bay and I hid in a locker and then I died in the med bay. And then the second time that I spawned in, I distracted it and then went to the med bay and then hid in a locker. And without it even hearing me, I didn't even make a noise. It went to the med bay to look and check it to see if I was there. And I didn't even,
uh-huh.
that never even occurred to me. Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's freaky. So,
I think that's like the main reason I haven't played it is just the thought of it knowing like what I'm gonna do, and that scares me just because you feel like you know what you have to do, but you can't do it the same way every time because it's gonna know what you do, so you have to mix it up every time, and that just it makes it very stressful.
yeah, yeah. Hi, Morks, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Maybe one day we'll do Fortnite Friday. But yeah, that's really stressful. But let's go step away from horror for a little bit and talk about the Mario movie because the trailer dropped last week, and I wanted to talk about it because I thought it was pretty cool. So, what are you guys' general thoughts on it?
I thought the trailer was like super pretty. I don't
Mhm.
know why I didn't expect it to look so good. Um, the only thing I don't really like is Chris Pratt's voice for Mario. I've seen a lot of like memes and stuff about it, I just don't think it like really fits.
I think it's fine. I'm not opposed to it, but I don't like it. I'm like in the middle ground of
Yeah,
it.
I'm
I
sure once it actually comes out, I probably won't hate it.
mhm. I was listening to a lot of I was reading a lot about people's conversations where they're saying that they don't want to listen to Charles Martinet for an hour and a half, which I agree with.
Mhm.
And then I saw like arguments against it, saying like showing clips of Mario talking in more of a context. And I think that that only works in very specific contexts. And I'm sure Charles Martinet could have found a voice that fit Mario in that setting,
Mhm.
but the people like saying that this should have just been the regular Mario voice, I don't think that should have been the case. What about
Yeah,
you?
I would not have liked that either.
Mm-hmm. Brandon?
I think it's like fine. I think it's okay. I mean, I don't think they would have put anything bad for the whole movie. So I'm not worried about it.
Okay. You think the movie's gonna be good?
Yeah, I don't think they would have let any voice, Nintendo especially, who's like super protective of Mario. I don't think they would have let if it was bad and not good. If it wasn't at least acceptable, I don't think they would have let it go through into a whole movie.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And Mark's you're right. Charles probably would have been able to find a way to still sound like Mario, but more bearable. I agree with that. Chris being Mario's voice is 100% a corporate decision to have a big name as Mario. But Brandon's also right. I don't think they would have let Chris do it if it wasn't acceptable.
Mhm.
So, I think this would be good. And Morks just mentioned Toad. What do you guys think of Key as Toad?
I thought it fit pretty well.
It's perfect.
I agree. I loved it.
Because it's not. I had someone say it's not high pitched enough. Like the Panda Global reaction video. Someone said it's not high pitched enough, and you do not want
No.
an hour and a half of a higher pitched Toad than that. It sounds just
No.
enough like Toad without it being annoying. And all
Yeah.
I pray for is that every Toad sounds like him.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you guys think he voices every Toad or just that specific one?
I think he voices every Toad because I don't think they're gonna have like one Toad who's like the Toad for. I think they'll swap Toads and you just won't notice. There'll be a blue Toad for part of the story and then a yellow Toad for another part.
Okay. I think he's the Toad, but I do think he voices every Toad in it. And I think going into Easter eggs because I want to talk about Easter eggs if you guys caught any on the poster that he's that Toad, and he has a backpack on, and I'm thinking he's gonna become Captain Toad at the end, which I think would be really cute.
That would be.
Um, so more details have come out with interviews, and both Key and Jack Black have said that they have sung for the movie. Uh, do you guys think we're gonna hear Mario, Peach, and Luigi sing too?
I feel like there's no way if Bowser and Toad sing that everybody else doesn't.
Okay. I think so too. I think this is gonna go like not full musical, but I think there's gonna be a few songs in it, and I think that'd be really funny.
Mm.
I'm so excited to hear Jack Black sing as Bowser. Who do you guys want to hear the most now that you've heard a few of them?
I think Mario and Bowser were the two I wanted to hear the most, honestly.
Those who are the ones you want to hear
Donkey
the
Kong.
most.
Mm.
Donkey Kong,
Donkey Kong.
Seth Rogen.
Let me hear Donkey Kong. I'll know how good this movie's gonna be once I hear Donkey Kong.
Is he gonna do
I
the?
forgot he was going to be in it.
Is he gonna do the laugh? I think it'd be funny. He's the one I'm most curious about for how he's gonna sound. but I really want to hear Luigi more than just a little scream at the end, because I love Charlie Day, and he gives me Luigi vibes, and would Luigi's my favorite character, so I'm really excited to hear him as Luigi. I thought he was not on par with Jack Black in terms of casting, because I thought Jack Black was like the perfect Bowser, like perfect casting for someone, but I think Charlie Day was like one of the better ones up for casting too. I thought it was Jack Black, Key, and Charlie Day for like the best castings.
I'd agree with that.
And have you guys noticed like any Easter eggs with the trailer or with the poster?
I honestly didn't. I'm oblivious to stuff like that until somebody
Okay.
points it out to me.
Oh, okay. So, one big thing with Luigi at the end where he like hides in the in when he hides behind the door. A lot of people were mentioning that that was a mansion, but that's if you look at the design of it, it looks like it's one of the houses from like the classic Mario games. Not houses, like the castles. Like when you reach the flagpole and you go into the castle, it looks like one of those because it even has a flag on the top of it.
That's what I thought it was a castle.
Yeah, it looks like a castle from when you beat a stage.
Mm-hmm. I hope this movie has a lot of like little Easter eggs and stuff like that from the games, like things that people that have played all of them would notice, but maybe not everybody would think anything of it.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know if they're gonna talk about it, but when Toad stops Mario from touching the blue mushroom, he's like, "Don't touch that, you'll die." like just there, he's referencing the poison mushroom because it's green and purple, but this one's blue and white. So I don't even know if they're gonna actually show poison mushroom in the game, but that's clearly what he was talking about, and
Yeah.
and a lot of kids or people that aren't familiar with Mario games are gonna be like, "Oh, haha, it thought that it was dangerous, but we're gonna know exactly the specific things about it." And you can see on the poster a lot of things where, like, on one side of the market, there's like a bunch of power-ups shown, but they're pixelated, like the feather and stuff. And then also on Toad's backpack, he has like 3 badges, and all 3 of those badges are locations from Super Mario Odyssey.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And Morks just mentioned that there was a blue-shelled Koopa Troopa. I didn't even notice that.
I actually saw. I just rewatched a trailer right before this, so I had it fresh in my mind. There was like a suggested video where they pointed out a blue shell, but I didn't know what it was 'cause I didn't
Oh.
watch the video of it. But I saw that there was a blue shell somewhere.
Yeah, and it's just so cool, and it's like, let's talk about the opening scene where his castle is like a ship in the air and drops and anchors down, and then the penguins. That scene was hilarious.
Uh huh. I wonder if we're gonna see any penguins get dropped off the side of the ship or something.
I feel like like that'd be funny. Like they take one hostage and we just see him drop him down. Like have him screaming like it's a
Mm-hmm.
there's just so much potential, and this trailer really impressed me, and
Yeah.
it makes me really happy because the first step to good video game movies I feel was Sonic, and it makes me really happy that Nintendo is putting just as much care into it.
Me too. I was worried that it wasn't going to be good or that it was going to be very like subpar, but
Yeah.
it's looking like it's going to be a really good movie.
Yep. And we know that they've talked about future projects, not anything specific, but that they want to continue with media outside of video games.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys think they make a show or a movie? Like, do you think they dabble in shows next, or do you think they stick with movies?
I kind of feel like they're going to stick with movies for a while. I think that there's a potential for shows. Um, I just feel like the movies are going to be a little more digestible for people.
Okay. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, just movies.
These movies? What
Just movies.
what Brandon? What do you think is the next series that they're gonna adapt into a movie?
Well, Zelda's too easy of a guess.
Is that was too easy of a guess?
Yeah, yeah. I feel like if it's obvious, they're not going to do it.
Okay.
Probably like probably Metroid, because Dread was a big deal
Do you think
in
it'd
I
be?
would
Metroid
love
Prime
a Metroid
4.
movie.
Do you think it'd be live action or animated?
I don't think it matters. I think it works either way. I think whatever's easiest for them.
Okay. What about you, Russ? Do you think Metroid's next, or do you think something else?
I agree with Brandon that I would think Zelda would be too obvious. I would love it for it to be Metroid. That's probably my favorite Nintendo franchise. Um, Seeing a Metroid movie, I think it would be perfect for a horror genre.
Yeah, it would.
I think I would prefer it to be live action over animated, but I would be fine with either as long as it was a Metroid movie.
Yeah, it would be really. They probably won't do it, but it'd be really interesting if they did a horror animated Metroid.
Hmm.
Just because I can't think of anything horror that's fully that's animated and focused on horror besides video games. But in terms of like movies, I can't like
Coraline is the only thing that comes to mind, but that's not like what I would call like classic horror.
yeah,
It's
okay.
more just like creepy, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. That'd be interesting. I think if this is a success, and because actually it's hard, it's hard. I think there's a good shot that they just move into a Donkey Kong movie.
I would be okay with that.
I think that has a good shot. More said a Splatoon movie. I didn't even think of Splatoon.
I would like a Splatoon movie.
That'd be cool.
The music in it would be amazing.
Yeah. I would and that's what with the movies, but they also put up Nintendo Pictures. They bought a studio and rebranded it to Nintendo Pictures, and that opens up more doors. Like, is it possible that they make an anime next? Maybe that one will be Zelda, or maybe that one will be. I would like a Kid Icarus one, maybe. That'd be
That'd
pretty
be pretty
cool.
good.
That'd be pretty
Hmm.
cool. But like, would they? Is Nintendo Pictures just gonna help out with motion capture and the video games, or are they gonna do other projects?
I think that would be good to expand. I
Yeah,
mean, they're a big enough company. I think that they'd be able to handle going out and branching out into different mediums.
and we see how successful that could be. I don't. You did you? I don't know if you guys saw it, but did you guys see how successful Cyberpunk Edge Runners was?
I heard it was really good, but I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either. Uh, Brian, have you seen anything about Edge Runners?
No, but it was a really big deal. Like a really, really big deal.
uh, like a part of that, like no, we've all heard of it at least, and I looked into it. Cyberpunk's player base reached a new peak concurrent players on Steam since its launch after
Wow.
Edge Runners released.
Brought the hype to the game, I guess.
Yeah, and that's why I think it would be really smart for Nintendo to line stuff up. And last one before we move on to some Sony speculation, because there is stuff I want to talk about there. Marissa says Edge Runners had hot girls. um, uh, do you guys think they will line up a Mario game next year? Whether it's 2D or 3D or just something, do you guys think they'll line up a Mario game for next year? A main Mario game for 2D or 3D for the movie.
I almost feel like they have to. I mean, Odyssey feels like it came out a million years ago at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I think now would be a really good time to do it now that they're making a Mario movie.
Yeah, that'd be really good. What about you, Brand? Do you think that they're gonna line something up?
Mm, hey, I don't know.
Do you think Rabbids is the last one for a while?
Yeah,
It's hard to
yeah.
tell. Okay. Are you gonna pick up Rabbids, Russ?
Probably. I started the first one and I haven't beaten it yet, but I really want to go back to it and finish it.
Okay. It's not that long. On you I don't know because I know you mentioned you're playing Overwatch, but if you're not playing anything else, if you want to, you might be able to beat it before Sparks of Hope comes out. It's not that long, but there is a huge difficulty spike.
That's why I stopped
Yeah,
playing.
yeah. There's a major one. It blows, but
hmm
um, Sparks of Hope looks really good,
hmm
so I'm excited for that. All right, let's go ahead.
Usually not my genre, but I like that one.
Oh, okay, you're not really into strategy.
I want to be, but I have a hard time getting into it.
That's fine. That's fine. I know it's not for everyone. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on to Sony speculation for a bit. And I'm gonna move that out of the topic list because I don't think anyone else besides me has anything to say about that. So with Sony speculation, documents got leaked. Um, Nothing is gonna be shown because I think they were getting pretty aggressive with that. But I will talk about it. So we saw Last of Us get remade. That was an interesting decision, mostly because it's cool. It is remade, but it wasn't really needed.
hmm
Mostly, and it's mostly because we can play the remastered one on PlayStation 5, but also I think it's free on the PlayStation Plus collection,
Yeah, I think it is.
which is really weird to make you pay 70 for a remake when you can play the same game with the online service. So
It
that's
just seems weird to me that they're remaking a game that's a PS4 game. It just seems
yeah. If
pointless, I guess.
if and we kind of we saw this with Spider-Man when for Miles Morales, but I think it made a little bit more sense there because it wasn't advertised as a remake, it was advertised as a quick remaster that comes in the package with Miles Morales.
Mhm.
So I thought that was a pass.
Yeah.
Then we got Last of Us, and I don't think there would have been as much backlash if remastered never came out. If it was just Last of Us on PS3 and there was no way to play on PS4 and then it got remade on PS5, I think that would have been huge for them.
hmm It just seems like the 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 PS4 one was unnecessary.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it would have been better if they maybe did this remake sooner and then just put it on PS4 and then had a PS5 version.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that would have worked. Um but Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered got leaked in that document, which is supposed to follow some of the same similarities to Last of Us Part 1,
Hmm.
which it's not necessary. I don't know why they are working on this.
I, I honestly don't know either. It seems like a waste of resources, I guess. I don't know if they're trying to capitalize on the fans that really like those games to
Yeah,
triple dip.
especially when there was an update, a PS5 update for Zero Dawn, right before Forbidden West released.
Yeah.
It's just strange. Brandon, did you hear anything about this?
No, I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, it was on Twitter for like a day where it's like remastered with a multiplayer component to it. So I guess they're adding multiplayer to it, like online multiplayer, but still just it feels weird. Um, do you think they should be remastering it, Brand?
No.
And then that like leaves it like I saw jokes about it, but I don't think it's too far off from actually happening. Like, what if like this does well and they think, okay, let's do this with God of War next? Like that just came out in 2018. Ragnarok's coming out. I don't know. It's like it opens up the doors for like Rust, like you said, like a waste of resources.
Hmm.
And um, are you gonna play Forbidden West, Russ?
Eventually.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Brand, you're not right.
No, probably not.
Okay. Well, without I wasn't gonna say any explicit spoilers, anyways. But with being with being vague, the way Forbidden West ends opens the possibility for a third game to come in at some point. And why waste resources on Zero Dawn Remastered when you can get all hands on deck to get the third one out before the generation ends?
Hmm.
It's just weird.
I don't know if maybe they're just too focused on, for lack of a better term, greed. That they just want to make
Yeah.
as much money as possible, and they think maybe splitting between like a Horizon 3 and a remaster, a remake, that they're gonna make more money that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry.
sure they know that fans are just gonna buy whatever they put out. So
Yeah, and you're right. There were people defending this. We see it on Twitter. There are people
mhm.
defending it, and it's just strange. And I'm not. I don't understand it, and I don't think I will. It's just
I
odd.
yeah, definitely an odd choice.
But we see Sony being more aggressive now more than ever with PC. And do you guys think if this is real, this launches on PC day one?
I could see it doing that, kind of like as a, hey, cool, we got this now on PC.
Yeah.
You didn't play it now.
No.
You don't think we see a day one?
No.
Do you think we ever
Uh,
see any Sony game day one?
on PC?
Yeah.
Um, some point. I
Uh,
just don't think anytime soon.
okay. Well, now let me see if this changes your mind. Do you think if because they have a they have a lot of live service games they said in development alongside their single player ones. Do you think the first game to come day and date with PC will be live service, or do you think it'll be single player?
I think it's more likely to be live service, just
Okay.
because of how gaming is nowadays with them.
Okay.
I mean, with live service, the entire goal is to get to as many people as possible as soon as possible. So I
Okay.
mean, probably live service.
All right. And for both of you, do you guys think that PlayStation's gonna make a PC launcher?
I I don't think so.
No? You think this thing is
No,
sticking with Steam?
I don't think that they're gonna put out enough games to justify a PlayStation launcher. The only thing I would think is if they wanted to kind of have like a native, which they actually might have this already, I just don't know, like a native way to remote play on your PC.
Hmm. Okay.
Admittedly, that's one feature on PlayStation I have never touched in my life.
I
So I don't
I I
know if it's.
I have done it, but it's not very easy. It's like you have to download an application for specific remote play, and um then you have to turn on the PS5, and then you have to select the game through it, and then you can start it. So it's really weird, but
It seems like too many steps.
they could do that. They could make it all in one. I think maybe I don't know when they'll do it, but I do think they want. I do think they want a PC launcher just so that they can get more money.
That would make sense.
We're talking about greed. I think I think that's I think that's likely. I think it's likely that they get one just so that they can get, like, if they have microtransactions, the microtransactions are run through it. They don't have to pay Steam for like a, what was it, like a 40%? 40% like share. So I think that it's very likely for them to do that.
I just feel like they would have to have a good amount of games available.
Yeah.
They only have what, like 4 games I think on PC right now? 3?
God of War, Horizon, Days Gone. Did Little Big Planet get shadow dropped, or was it just announced?
I don't know if I even knew about Little Big Planet.
Not Little Big Planet, my bad, my bad. Sackboy. My bad.
Oh,
Not Little Big Planet, that's my
That's on
bad.
PC.
It was just announced like a few days ago, but I don't remember if it was shadow dropped or if it was announced.
I'm not sure. I wasn't really following their PC stuff because I don't play on PC.
That's 4. 5 with Uncharted, although I don't know if that's out yet. And then Last of Us Part 1 is coming, they said, before the end of the year, so I'm assuming December.
Spider-Man's on PC
Spider-Man
too,
and Miles Morales, that's 8.
I still don't think that's enough.
No,
I feel like there would have to be like at the very least, like 20.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, Blizzard has a launcher and they only have like 10 games on it.
Yeah. I don't even think... Can you buy the old Call of Duties on Battle.net? I think it's only the newest one.
I think you're right. I haven't opened the Battle.net launcher in so long, I don't remember.
I only opened it for Overwatch. Like, I boot it up, I click play, and then I don't look at anything else. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But I think if any other company can do it, it's probably Sony.
Mm-hmm.
Especially
I
once
think they ever would.
What's up?
They probably never would. Because, I mean, reasonably, Blizzard already was in the PC market.
Yep.
They were already releasing stuff in PC. So, reasonably, if you're Sony, you're going into a market where you have to either compete with Steam's player base and how
Yeah.
well known they are in the sales and the fact that they're the number one, or you have to compete with something that has Fortnite and gives out 2 free games a month, which Sony gives out free games, but they give out free console games.
Yeah.
So you're not
That's
going into great competition.
that's also what I was thinking. Like, now, business wise, that's probably what they're talking about as we speak. Like, is it worth it to make a launcher? Like, are they gonna get more money with less sales on the launcher? Because let's be real, more people have Steam, and there are going to be a lot of people that will not download the PlayStation launcher just to play Sony games on PC. Like, are they good, or just because they don't want to have multiple launchers on their PC? Like, is it worth the loss in sales to get more money per copy? And that's probably what their marketing is, or their research is, like, looking into, like, stats on other companies and other launchers.
And that also brought up a good point. They're dealing with Game Pass on PC now too.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, so that's 3. The brand you mentioned Steam, Epic Games, and now Russ mentioned Game Pass. So that's 3.
Yep.
So we'll see.
And I feel like Game Pass is going to be kind of hard to beat since you pay one very small fee a month and you get access to a couple hundred games.
Yep. It's a lot. So.
And they're new games. Like you
Yeah,
get a ton of day one games on Xbox.
and they haven't hit their exclusives yet because they've been buying and accumulating. But
Uh-huh.
I think come 2023, Microsoft's gonna start hitting hard
Hmm.
with their first party releases. Like we're gonna get Starfield, which I'm not excited for it, but that's a big release, especially day one
Yeah.
on Game Pass. Um, what's the vampire one that they're also
Like Left
making?
4 Dead.
Yeah, that one.
I forget. It's like Red Moon or something like that.
Right, yeah,
Redfall.
Red, is it Redfall?
I don't
I think
know.
it is Redfall. I think it is
I mean,
Redfall.
between that and Back for Blood, I've lost track.
Let me look at Redfall. Yes, it is Redfall. Yeah, Redfall, which also is a pretty big release, and it looked better than I thought it was going to when they showed it off last year. I think they just showed it off for too long. Um, Hellblade, I don't know when that's coming out, but that's gonna be a big release. Avowed, the next Fable, all the Forzas that are coming out, like they're gonna start hitting hard, and it's gonna be dangerous. Like that's a
Mhm.
dangerous subscription service for the future. It's already a good deal now, but it's gonna get like dangerous for Sony to compete with.
Mhm. I think it's gonna be kind of hard to compete with it.
Yeah, that's why I think that I don't think you should. I think you should just do something that makes your service unique.
Uh-huh.
Um, Nintendo's doing their old games, which they say what you will, they could be doing a lot better with them. I think that they're doing well at distinguishing themselves and not competing with Game Pass, especially because it's the legacy games. And also we're getting Mario Parties 1 through 3 in the next few months, so I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
And then Sony just added their tiered subscriptions with extra and premium, and premium isn't very good, but I do hear that extra is worth it if you play those free games because those extra games have been pretty good. And that seems like it's competing with Game Pass a little bit more than any other subscription, but it's still not exactly quite going toe to toe with them.
Yeah, I think the premium for PlayStation is a little too expensive for what it is.
I agree.
I bought it and I kind of regret it.
Did you buy the whole year or just a month?
A whole year.
Maybe if you could play PS3 games natively.
Yeah, that I think that would make it a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's kind of hard to play PS3 games. You pretty much just have to have a PS3 to be able to play them. It's hard to like. I don't. A lot of them aren't downloadable or anything, so it's just really no choice of how to play it.
Yeah. Uh, have you tried streaming them?
No, I've only tried downloading them. I don't trust streaming them.
Okay, Brandon, you've said that you've tried streaming a long time
Yeah,
ago, right?
I streamed Sonic Unleashed,
Okay,
and I just clicked play, and it was perfect. No input, like nothing. Just
that's good.
ran straight through.
That's good. And when was that?
Well, it was on Wi-Fi. A couple last year, actually, yeah, last year.
Last year.
On I
Okay.
was on Wi-Fi. I was even on Ethernet for it.
Okay. So hopefully it's better, even better now. I know streaming can be good. It's just a lot of times it isn't. So
Yeah.
hopefully the service is better now. Um, I know I've been wanting to play Unleashed again, but I think I'm just gonna play it on Xbox because I they made it backwards compatible last year or this year. I think last year. So I'll probably play it there. But all right, moving on from Sony, back to Nintendo a little bit. It's almost time for War. We're moving on to our next Splatfest. Uh, it's a little bit of a confusing not confusing prompt. It's not confusing. I'm just I don't know how to take it in terms of how I'm debating it, because I have two responses. So they're saying that it's in response, not in response, in celebration of Scarlet and Violet's launch. They are doing a which starter would you choose? Water type, grass type, or fire type? And I wanted to know what you guys are choosing.
Water. I choose water every time.
Every time?
Mm-hmm.
Bran?
Water. Yeah, water type. I've always chose water type. In most generations I played. I don't think I'm gonna go water type for this generation, but most generations.
Oh, what are you going for this one?
What's his name? Sprigatito or something like
Oh,
that?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sprigatito.
Probably.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so for me, I'm battling some inner demons for this one. I don't know, because like my favorite starter of all time is Bulbasaur. I love Bulbasaur to death. And another starter I really like is Trico. But the last 4 generations, 5 with this one that's coming up, I'm going water. I haven't liked another typing since Gen 4. Gen 4 was Chimchar, and I did Bulbasaur, Torchic. Wait, no, Torchic is Gen 3, right?
Yeah.
No, I did Trico Gen 3. Cyndaquil. I went Bulbasaur, Cyndaquil, Trico, Chimchar, and then everything else has been water since then. It's been Oshawott, Froakie, Poplio, Sobble, and now Quaxley. So it's like that's been what I've been majority choosing. So I don't know if I want to look at it as my favorite starter of all time, or if I want to go with the typing that I'm going with this generation. But I'm thinking I'm going to go with the typing this generation since they're name dropping Scarlet and Violet. I'm just confused why they chose the typing teams instead of the starter. Like just naming the starter.
I was wondering that too, and I'm wondering if it's more accessible, I guess, for lack of a better word, for people that aren't interested in Pokemon. They're not going to know what a Quaxley,
Oh, you're right.
or Coco are.
More appealing.
In general.
More
Yeah,
appealing.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I didn't even think about that. Okay. Yeah, that is. I'm like 90% sure that's probably why they did it then. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be doing water. I think I'm doing water. I love Quaxley.
I can't wait to see what his final evolution is.
Yes. I talked about last time, I think. I really want it to be one of two things. I wanted to be either a pirate or a matador.
I would love either of them.
I think that'd be really, really cool. I think Sprigatito is going to be a dancer. So
I thought the same thing. I think that would fit really well.
And I have no idea what Coco is going to turn into.
I heard a rumor. I don't know if it's a rumor, but people were speculating that maybe he's going to turn into like a Day of the Dead like skull.
Oh,
Be like ghost fire type.
That'd be cool. Like a Day of the Dead skull. Okay. That'd be another ghost fire, which would be fine. Man, Sobble's final evolution is cool in concept because it's based off of like James Bond. But I really wanted a ghost water type for it.
I almost think even for a James Bond like themed Pokemon, a ghost type would have made a little more sense than dark.
Well, I don't think any I don't think James Pond, god damn it. I don't think Gen 8 had any dual type evolutions, like for final evolutions. I think they were all like pure grass, fire, and water.
Am I crazy?
I don't know. I remember that being like the first generation in a long time where it was like pure fire, water, and grass.
I don't know why I was thinking it was dark if it's Hold on.
No, because I know Greninja was dark, and then
I
Primarina.
spelled that all kinds of wrong. It is just pure water. I
Yeah,
guess I'm just
Primarina
crazy.
turned fairy. So wow. Yeah, I wonder. I think they will go back to dual type at Final Evolutions. I wonder why they stuck with single types for the Final Evolutions for Gen 8.
I don't know. I do hope that if they do dual types again, though, that they don't make a firefighting. I am sick of
Yes,
those.
I agree. I agree.
There's no reason we needed what, three of them, two of them,
Infernape,
and
Blaziken,
Blaziken.
and uh what's his name? Crap.
The
Uh
Oh,
Gen 6
Embor,
one, not?
Gen 6 wasn't, Gen 5 was. Uh
Embor.
Embor was firefighting, right? That's three in a row. And then uh Incineroar might as well have been firefighting with the design.
Uh huh.
I know it was Fire Dark, but it might as well have been fighting.
That
Uh,
box was Fire Psychic.
yes.
I like that combination.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good one.
Another win for Gen 6.
Yeah,
I need
Jinsu
to
is good.
replay Gen 6.
Yeah, people like shitting on it, but it's a good generation. I don't think there's been a bad one. There's always the phase where you hate on the most recent generation, and then a few generations later, you're like, oh, that was a really good generation. So, uh, man, that trend needs to stop. I don't know why. I'm tired of pretending like I'm tired of people like pretending that Gen 8 was bad. It was not
Mhm.
bad. I don't think there's been a bad generation. I remember
No.
everyone hating Gen 5 when Gen 5 was coming out, and I think the consensus is that it's one of the best Pokemon games of all time.
Yeah. I love the story for Gen 5.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people with the newer games too, like with Sword and Shield, people didn't like the graphics and said that the graphics were bad and the animations were just reused, and that just basically offended the whole generation or the whole fan base.
Yeah.
And also the whole not having every Pokemon in it bothered a lot of people. I honestly don't mind them cutting Pokemon out of it.
I don't either.
I I would have liked them to be available at least, like maybe not part of the Pokedex, but you could still transfer them over to like for Wi-Fi battles and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like a Pokemon game with over 1,000 Pokemon is gonna be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. Scarlet and Violet already Scarlet and Violet looks like they're doing a lot of work to it. So,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Uh huh.
I'm excited. And before going to our question of the night, we are gonna do our last main topic that I have listed, and it's about the Game Awards. So I don't know how into the Game Awards you are, Russ, but Brandon and I uh love the event of it. We love talking about it. We always do. Like when the nominations are out, I always do before the Midnight Channel. Me and Brandon would vote together and predict it. But now that we have the Midnight Channel, I like doing like predictions episodes where we all vote and we all talk about what we think is gonna win and what we want to win. So the Game Awards website is now live, and I wanted to talk to you guys and see what you guys think is gonna be in specifically because I don't want to do everything. I want to talk about the game of the year list because they do 6 games, and I want to know what 6 games you guys think are gonna be there. But before that, Russ, what do you think about the Game Awards? Because I know there's people that aren't really a fan of it.
Yeah, like you said, I like the whole event of it. I think it almost feels like another E3. Like it's just a bunch of fun game talk, and
Hmm.
there's usually some cool announcements. If I remember right, Bayonetta 3 was announced at Game Awards like
Yep.
5 years ago.
Yep. Yeah,
I think that's like a fun thing to watch, and it's fun to predict like what's going to win, and then you're disappointed when you see something win that you don't think should have won.
yeah, it's just fun for conversation. Even like
Yeah.
that's what Brandon and I were talking about it. Brandon, was it yesterday that we were talking about it? You're muted.
Sorry, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember if it was yesterday or the day before, but we were talking about it recently, and you mentioned as well, like it's just like just talking about it and having fun, even if the show itself isn't the best every year, it's still fun to watch it together and just have fun with it.
Yep.
So there's that. So there's 6 games every year. I think they started doing 6 games either last year or 2 years ago. It used to be 5 games. What games do you think are lock in? I think the obvious one, Elden Ring. Elden Ring is gonna be in it. If it's not,
I would be shocked if Elden Ring is not in it.
yeah, uh, that's a one. So I think do we all agree Elden Ring is a part of it?
It's
I,
yeah, everything's trying to beat Elden Ring.
Yeah, I
I
think
like no
I
one's
almost
showing
don't
up
see
to
it.
this show like
I
thinking
almost.
that Elden Ring is not the front runner. Sorry, go
yeah.
ahead.
Oh, I was actually going to say that I think Elden Ring is going to be the winner.
I agree. I don't think. Oh man, it's gonna be really hard unless there's an upset. I think the only thing that can happen is I'll just throw in the second prediction too. I think the only upset that could happen, similar to 2018 when God of War beat Red Dead 2, would be if Ragnarok beats Elden Ring. I don't think it's happening, but I do think Ragnarok, unless something tragic happens to its launch, I think that's also a lock for Game of the
Uh-huh.
Year.
I think Stray has a good chance of being in it too.
As the indie game.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, because one of them is gonna be an indie game. Last year was
Uh-huh.
what was the last year? Was it or a smaller game? I don't remember what was it last year. Be it
I don't
Psychonauts?
think they had
Psychonauts
one.
2?
Does that count as small? They had backing from Microsoft, didn't they?
Yeah, but it didn't start that. It was only until like recently that they had the backing from Microsoft.
I wouldn't count that. That they had backing from that's a big deal in the game. That ain't your local like cult of the lamb
Before
upset.
before that it was Hades, right?
Yeah,
Uh
yeah, they didn't really have any small game. If you want to count Psychonauts, but
okay. Um so with that, do you guys think okay, so there's a few in my mind. So you mentioned Stray, and then Brandon, you just mentioned Cult of the Lamb.
yeah,
That's
cult of the
another
lamb.
another one that I had in my mind. And another
Do
one,
you
well, go ahead.
what do you count as eligible? Like,
For Game of the Year?
is the Cuphead Delicious Last Course fine?
No, because that's DLC.
You don't think they would include that? I mean,
No,
it's presented as its own thing.
I don't think because the Final Fantasy VII Integrate DLC wasn't a part of it.
I don't think it was gonna be a part of it, even that shit slapped. I don't think.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't think I don't think we've ever seen DLC a part of it.
What about a? No, it totally counts. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. It totally counts.
That
It
that
deserves a spot.
that got in.
No, it came out this year. That's a game from early this year, like April, and it absolutely without a doubt deserves a spot. It scored above 90 on 2 different platforms. It's a reimagining. I'm pretty sure they built it and from the ground up in a new engine, all the original content again, and then they added on, I think, another 2.5 hours of content
Well,
beside it.
that's basically a remaster or remake, right?
It's marked as a reimagining.
Oh, then yeah, then that would count
Its
because
description.
that would count as it.
I don't think they're gonna allow it to count. I think the Stanley Parable deserves a spot somewhere because it came out in 2013, so that was when Game Awards was on G4. So It never
Yeah.
really had its chance,
It'll
and
probably
I don't think it ever got a fair shake.
it'll probably be in a different category.
If they count it, I mean, if it's not in any category, then they don't count it because I mean, this game scored. I think its worst score was critically, its worst score was an 87, and I think if you include user scores in that, then its worst score is like an 8.1.
Okay.
Wow.
That's really good. I think the four front runners for smaller games are Cult of the Lamb, Stray, Neon White, and Shredder's Revenge.
Oh, I forgot about that one. I think that has a good chance of being in there.
Yeah. So before we talk about the smaller one, then actually let's list five big ones. So we got Elden Ring, Ragnarok.
Horizon.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna. Do you guys think Forbidden West gets in?
I think it gets in over Ragnarok.
Well,
I don't know if I agree with that.
I think
I
if they
think
only had to include one.
you think
I
they're
feel
only
like God
including
of War
one?
is.
I think God of War, because it releases next next month. I think the only way that it doesn't get in over Forbidden West is if it doesn't make the cut. But we've seen I don't know if you guys have seen it happen, but or if you guys have heard of it happen, but we've seen games get given to critics a month ahead of the Game Awards to ensure that the critics have enough time to play it and nominate it in there.
Huh.
And the Ragnarok did go gold, I think 1 or 2 weeks ago. I can't remember when, but it was pretty recent that it went gold. So it might already be in the hands of critics, if not yet, then soon, to ensure that it gets in. But I think Ragnarok is a lock.
I feel like God of War is too big of a name to not be in there.
Unless it just ends up being bad.
That could be too.
But I don't see that happening. Let's see. So let's see what else is remaining in the rest of the year. So the rest of the year, that's the biggest game left, right? Hey Ty, how's it going? Hope you're doing well.
The biggest game, but like that has like a shot at game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Kirby.
Ooh,
Kirby was Kirby was this year.
Kirby was this year. I agree, Ty. I think that they should be in January or February as well. It's not as good for views, which is why they do it in December, but I agree. Yes, we said Elden Ring, Ty. So right now, the locks that we have in on the list are Elden Ring and Ragnarok, and maybe Forbidden West. But Brandon, what were you saying?
Well, I mean, from Nintendo's side of things, you could go Kirby, Splatoon,
Ooh.
or if you really wanted to go bold, wasn't Legends Arceus this year?
Yes.
Yes.
Now I'm
If you
gonna
wanted to go bold, you can do that.
I'm gonna go even bolder than that. I'm gonna go even bolder than that, and because a lot of critics are saying it, and because Jeff Keighley commented on it, I think that the pity vote, or not the pity vote, the pity nomination might be Xenoblade 3. I say pity, not because it's not good. I love that game to death. I say pity because there were people. Xenoblade 1 got shafted at the Game Awards for the definitive edition. X got shafted, and 2 got shafted hard. And people were
I don't think they
complaining
can do
about
that
it.
to free. I forgot free even came out this year.
And
Yeah,
and
that's
and Jeff, like they talked about like Jeff said, what do you guys want to see at the Game Awards? And someone said, "Oh, is Xenoblade 3 have a shot at being nominated for Game of the Year?" And that is the only one that Jeff replied to saying yes. everyone else commented stuff, and he's the only one that was the only one he responded to. So I think Xenoblade 3 might have a shot at being there for Game of the Year.
I think if it's up there, if it's up for Game of the Year and it doesn't go to Elden Ring, it goes to Xenoblade.
You think it goes to Xenoblade if not Elden Ring?
Without a doubt. If it's up there against anything and Elden Ring doesn't win, then it's Xenoblade.
Well, why?
It's one of the most highly praised games this year. I mean, Elden Ring is very praised, and then it's Xenoblade. I don't think anything else was as big of a deal and as highly praised as Xenoblade from start to finish.
I agree. I don't know if it's because of the people I follow or this like the communities that I'm in on Twitter, but I don't. I think I did see the most talk about Xenoblade aside from Elden Ring, and even more so than Horizon, and that's partly due because Horizon released so close to Elden Ring, which is a shame. Horizon's cursed with the releases, but I did see more Xenoblade talk than Horizon. And yes, Ty, we did talk about it, but we're saving the smaller game pick for last since we think that it's like Shredder's Revenge or like 3 others.
Not to like hang on like critic scores too much, but critics are the people voting in this like poll. Xenoblade scored an 89, and if that's not like enough confidence, then you're talking about a Nintendo game that has a very hardcore fan base that managed to not get review bombed. This game has an 8.6 on Metacritic. It is not far behind its critic score and user review. It apparently avoided completely getting review bombed, and that doesn't happen to a lot of games. I'm pretty sure that happened to Horizon. I'm pretty sure that will happen to God of War.
Yeah.
I think it happened to Elden Ring, right?
Yeah, it did. I remember talking about it in some episode.
Yeah, Elden Ring has a 7.9 right now in user. So I mean, it's very difficult for a major game like that to not be review bombed nowadays, and Xenoblade didn't.
Okay, so we have Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Xenoblade 3. Russ, do you have something that you're like think has to be there?
Honestly, I was looking through a list of games that came out in 2022, and none of them are like jumping out at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at this right now.
I think Splatoon 3 would honestly be a more likely one to be on there than Xenoblade.
I
don't know. Xenoblade seems awfully niche to me. Like you said, there's the hardcore fan base, but I feel like that's not enough to be one of the 6 games on there.
Which is interesting that you say that because there's always some niche game in the list. Like there's always a niche game or a smaller game. No, and like there's always a nicher game and a smaller game. I don't want to say indie because indie wasn't I don't think indie's right about it, but I think there's always a niche game and always like a smaller game too. I'm looking and I think, you know what, I think Forbidden West and Ragnarok might both get in it.
I just feel like there weren't that many games this year, at least that I've noticed, where people just like absolutely go nuts over it.
So that's another thing with recency bias coming up. Do you guys think I don't think it is. I don't think it has a shot. But I have heard only positive things from people playing at conventions and it being the most popular game at conventions, like it filling up the queue within 45 minutes for the whole day. Do you guys think Sonic Frontiers has its chance to get into this?
I was actually going to bring that up. I don't think it has a chance, but I think it has a chance to be one of the best Sonic games in a long time. Just because they're doing so much different. It looks like It looks like it's going to be the Breath of the Wild of Sonic. Not to say like that's the gameplay it looks like, but like they're redesigning what Sonic is, and I feel like there's a chance that this might just work for the Sonic franchise.
Mm-hmm. You, Brandon, do you think it can land on the nominations list?
It's like 2000,
It
2001.
was 2001.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We're post '06. Shadow the Hedgehog, boom. People didn't even like Generations. Some people didn't. No, I
Yeah.
don't think. I think. I think for the critic mindset, I don't think there's many biases to get past, but I do think Sonic would have to have like the second coming of Red Dead Redemption to have a chance to even
Okay.
be on that list, let alone win anything. Just because I think it's the perception of Sonic nowadays is too difficult for critics to get past.
I agree. I think he's fighting a
Like,
very uphill battle.
I think there are two biases. I think Sonic will always have a hard time, and I think anything with Last of Us tied to it will always have an easy time
So
getting into Game of the Year.
with that being said, do you think part one has a shot?
The remaster?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I would be
No.
mad if that was on there.
I agree. I don't think it does, but I've seen it technically qualifies because it is a brand new game technically. So
That's stupid to me.
yeah. Okay, so I have Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Xenoblade 3. Do you guys want me to add Forbidden West onto it?
What? It's safe. You're gonna be safe.
Forbidden West. Now, there's a few games, pretty big games coming up. We talked about Frontiers. There's also Bayonetta 3. Bayonetta 2 was a contender in 2014, I believe.
Somebody in one of the discords I'm in actually posted that Bayonetta 3, the people that have gotten to play it, said that it was ridiculously good and one of the best experiences they've had in a while.
Oh,
So that leaves me kind of hopeful that it's going to be good, and that would be awesome if it was on there.
okay. And then there's also Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, which, similar to what you just said, all the previews that I've seen have said amazing things about Sparks of Hope.
Mm.
Um, so do you guys want to include anything else that hasn't released yet? Or do you guys want to stick with things that we already know has reviewed?
I would include Sparks of Hope in Game of the Year. I think it would be very difficult.
You think
It'd
it'd
be a
be very
very difficult
difficult?
battle for the well, because I think critically that like unless it's like a Mario game or a Zelda game, that when it comes to stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like I don't know, the silly smaller games like that don't really have this giant thing to them, that like critics probably think it's a little bit below them.
Okay.
In comparison, like it isn't like mentally challenging them and challenging like video games with brand new ideas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And like it maybe doesn't need to be.
Okay. So, no rabbits. With that being said, we still have Bayonetta 3. Do you guys think that that has a good shot at making it on there?
If it's as good as people are saying it is, I think it might have a shot. I mean, Bayonetta seems to have really blown up in popularity since the first one came out.
Mm-hmm.
Like when it first came out on Xbox and I think it was an Xbox exclusive at first, if I remember right. I think it got ported to PlayStation,
Okay.
um, or it was made for Xbox and they ported it to the PlayStation. I know
Mm-hmm.
the Xbox was the definitive way to play it,
Yes.
but when that game came out, nobody knew about it. Nobody cared about it really. And I feel like once she was introduced in Smash is when she really started to build up steam.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like a lot more care has been put into her games. And I'm feeling like 3 is going to be amazing. But I'm also hoping that's not me being biased and loving the Bayonetta series, that I'm just really hopeful that this third one's going to be really good.
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm hoping that it's good. I'm hoping that it's really good. So, I think the two standouts, Brian mentioned it earlier, and it's a very good game. Do you guys think? Do you guys want to give the fifth spot then to Kirby or Bayonetta?
I think between the two, Kirby probably has a better chance.
Okay. I'll do Kirby Forgotten Land. And then the last one is going to be the small one, which we had, I think, 5. We had Shredder's Revenge, Cult of the Lamb, Stray, Stanley Parable, and I mentioned Neon White, but I don't know. Have you heard of Neon White, Russ?
I've heard of it and I want to play it, but is it out?
Yes, it's out. It reviewed extremely well.
Yeah, I remember seeing gameplay for it. It looked like it was going to be really fun, but I've never played it yet.
Yeah, the talk lasted for a while too, and then it just dropped out of nowhere. I think that's the case with all of them, though. I don't think there's anyone that keeps getting talked about right now at this very moment.
Uh-huh.
I'm debating on it. I think I want to say Stanley Parable might get it for its reviews, but if they're not including remasters or remakes, I think it's either Stray or Shredder's Revenge.
I don't know much about the remake of Stanley Parable, other than that it was reviewed well. I I would kind of think that it's going to be Stray, just because that game seemed to be almost internet breaking when it came out. How everybody loved it. Like it seemed like most people liked it just for the fact that you can meow.
Yeah.
And I've played it, and I thought it was really good. I don't think it's Game of the Year worthy, but it was definitely good. And I think between all the small ones, just for the fact that it was super popular with like everybody, I think it would have the shot of being the small man of the group.
Okay. Uh, Brandon, what do you think aside from Stanley?
Like for game of the year,
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna let Stanley Parable be on there. I think it deserves some recognition. That game is like such an interesting, unique experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't know if y'all have seen any of the um new content that Deluxe Edition had, but it's like very understanding of like its own humor and stuff, and it's very, very interesting. But
Okay.
I think it's gonna get glossed over.
Okay. Do you think
uh,
it's Stray, like Russ?
yeah, Stray's probably. I think Stray's the most obvious one.
Okay.
Like Stray's like a really big deal. I feel like for like a solid month straight, I constantly heard stuff about Stray after it released.
Okay.
And there's not many games that really had that. Like, I mean, Horizon was a game I feel like went away in 2 or 3 weeks,
Yeah, that was
but I don't think.
unfortunate. I still say that is due to Elden Ring launching the week after. That's unfortunate.
Uh-huh.
But
Probably if it was any other game that got released around Horizon, it would have been fine. But Elden Ring just literally took the internet by storm.
yep. All right. So our list is Elden Ring, Ragnarok, Xenoblade 3, Forbidden West, Kirby, and Stray. And the only one that is not out of those is Ragnarok. I think that's a pretty solid list. Not knowing the reviews for everything else, I think that's a good list. We'll obviously talk more about the Game Awards as it gets closer, and it's really cool that the website is live.
It's exciting, like it's coming soon.
Yeah. So
You get in that season. It's like Christmas.
yeah, I know
Mhm.
you're right. It's like that. I know a lot of I know Jeff gets a lot of flack from people for hyping up his events, which he has to. He's a hype man. He has to. But I think Jeff is a really good speaker, and I just love
Mhm.
hearing Jeff speak. And of course, he does a lot of stuff for money. A lot of people do, but I think you can tell that he's passionate about the industry, and
Mhm.
I think that's part of what makes him a really good speaker. That his passion seeps into his speech. He gets excited. He hypes things up. He's a hype man, but he is excited for the industry. And
Mhm.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. I almost don't even think I can think of a better person to do it. I think he just fits the role so well.
I agree. I don't know if there's I don't know if there's a better person to do it. Like once hopefully far away, but like once he retires from it, I don't know who's the next one in line to do it.
Mhm.
Because this is the thing he built. He built the Game Awards. He will probably pass the torch to someone eventually, but I at this moment I don't see who he could pass it to.
I
Um,
don't either.
I think the only other
He's
and not even
muted.
not 11.
He's like 43. I don't know if like whoever he's passing the torch to is even born yet.
We'll see because
Yeah.
it could be the only thing I could see that would do a job that's just as good is someone that understands the demographic as well, which would probably be a YouTuber.
That was what I was gonna say. A
It's
YouTuber or a streamer.
a YouTuber or streamer, and it has to be someone that's actually in touch with that side of gaming, not like Ninja, not like
I'd
some
love XQC to be the host.
no,
That'd
absolutely
be
not
so
like
good.
XQC. It'd have to be someone like I don't know if you guys watch Spawn Wave or Scott or someone of that where they're not like insanely like XQC levels of streamer, but they understand the industry and they know who they're
Yeah.
talking to. That's the only other like that's I think that's the
Spawn
only
Wave. Spawn Wave I could see being one that would fit.
I love Spawn Wave. So
Mhm.
that would I think that would fit. What were you gonna say, Brandon?
I can't get past the mental image
Of
of
X
XQC messing up like one announcement, like flubbing his words and then just smashing the award.
God.
I mean, I would love to see that. That'd be great. Joseph Fares also, if he could host one of these,
Jesus, that'd be
that would be
dangerous.
incredible. It's my favorite person in video games right now,
Did
without
you
a doubt.
just as great? Did you see he's working on his next project?
I hope he never stops.
He posted like a picture, a selfie of him with the two people that he's working with at the moment. It seems like it's gonna you're playing as two women in the next game instead of so like the first one was A Way Out was two men.
Mhm.
It Takes Two was a man and a woman, and it seems like the next one is gonna be two women that you're playing as, unless it was just two random people that he did for motion capture. But that's what it looks like. But did you play It Takes Two, Russ?
Not yet.
Oh,
I
it's
was
so
planning on
good.
forcing my girlfriend to play it with me.
Do it. Get her in. Get her to force her. Do you plan on playing it on like PlayStation or Xbox or on Switch?
I have not committed to a console, so if there's a better one, a better platform to play it on,
The easiest will probably be Switch, but I think the best experience will probably be PS5. Or
that's
do
what
you,
it'll be then.
so that's probably the best experience. It was so good. I played it 3 times last year.
Wow.
And it was almost back to back. It was so good. I played it with Brandon for my first playthrough. I played with Marissa for my second playthrough, and then I played it with my cousin for my third playthrough. and each time it was a blast.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Yeah. So that's our list. Before we end off, let's go ahead and go into the question of the night, where it is: what are your favorite horror or spooky games to play, and are there any that you put on every year to get into the Halloween spirit? And I'll go first. I don't know if I have a favorite horror game because I'm a baby, but every year, or if not every year, every other year, or really consistently, I replay through Luigi's Mansion 1. I love that game so much. I can beat it in like 2 sittings. Uh, it's such a good game to me, and I like playing it really consistently because I just think it's really fun. It gets me in the spirit.
I don't really have a horror game either. I really like the Resident Evil series, but I only recently started to get into that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I usually try to play Bioshock every year.
Ooh, okay.
Um, I wouldn't, I don't know if I'd call it horror or not. It's definitely creepy, but it's not like scary.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't, it like gets me in the mood of like creepy season. I think that's
Okay.
one that I've always just liked playing every year. Plus, I just really like the game.
Nice.
I think I was muted.
Oh yeah. You were. What happened, Brand?
I don't play scary games.
Is there anything
No.
spooky that you do? Like, and maybe not
No.
even scary, necessarily scary, but like, I don't know. We watched the FNAF theories last week or a few
Yeah,
days
that's the
ago.
spookiest thing I've done in forever. I watched one stupid ass horror movie. I think Jennifer Lawrence was in it. It was about a mirror.
Oh,
Um,
but Black Mirror?
no, that's a TV show.
Black?
It's like
No, that is a TV show.
2015.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's like it. It was like a. Was there like a
Mirror
crow?
horror movie.
Was there like a crow that smashed through a window?
I don't know. All I know is it was a haunted mirror or some shit.
Okay.
Uh, Scared the shit out of me. It was dumb as shit. Terrible movie.
and
I haven't watched
you
anything since.
and you never gone back since. Okay. Um,
No,
do you watch people play scary games?
no. The scariest thing I do is I watch plot recaps of horror movies that I'm too afraid to watch anyways. Um, there was I forget who does it. Oh yeah, it's a YouTube channel called Foundflix. He does ending explain where he just goes through the entire plot of horror movies, and he only uses still images, so I can make
Oh.
it through. But not when it's dark outside. Only
Oh.
when there's light.
Okay. Well, we're gonna watch Werewolf by Night soon. So you got something else to add on to it. Um you have you played the original Luigi's Mansion? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah, you have. You streamed it,
I
right?
streamed it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
streamed it.
Do you like it?
Yeah, it was great. It was better than the third one,
You think it's better than the third one?
considerably. I think
Okay.
the boss fights in the third one aren't that great.
Okay.
Fine.
You don't play the second one though, right?
No, I didn't play Dark Moon. No, I don't own it.
Okay. I think Russ, did you play Luigi's Mansion 1 and 3?
I just played the first one and I really liked it.
Okay. I think 1 and 3 are comparable in terms of how good they are. I prefer 1 just because of the atmosphere and the ghost design, but I think they're comparable in terms of how good they are. I think the third one has a lot of charm to it that is missing in the other two. But that's a different topic for a different thing. Luigi's Mansion 1 is the one that I boot up like every year, every other year. So it's the one that I test all my Dolphin stuff on. Like if I need to test anything on Dolphin, I boot up Luigi's Mansion and I test it out. So that's like my go-to. Um, but yeah, do you guys have any final thoughts on spooky stuff for signing off? All right.
Nope.
All right, cool. With that being said, this was episode 43 of Midnight Channel. We are gonna go ahead and let you know where you can find them. So, Brandon, where can everyone find you at?
Twitch.tv/thesandwichubi. I play Overwatch. Just
You're,
Overwatch.
you're an Overwatch
At
streamer
some
right
point,
now.
at some point, I'll do the Splatoon free story. Right now, just Overwatch.
Just Overwatch right now. Maybe when you're done with the Battle Pass.
Maybe, yeah, probably. Honestly, I told myself I would start it last Tuesday. This past Tuesday, I told myself I would start it next Tuesday. So we'll see how much I stick to that.
Okay. And what about what about Ori?
I have Game Pass. I can't beat it.
One day, one day.
One day I'll continue Ori halfway through the second game. I mean, whenever I get Game Pass.
All right. All right, cool. And Russ, where can everyone find you at?
Mostly active on Instagram and Twitter. My username is Cryoweasel, and I sometimes stream. Same name. I stream random things. It's usually like a horror, like Resident Evil, or multiplayer game like Overwatch.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So with that being said, as always, you can find me here. I will be back again on tomorrow with Splatoon 3. And if you don't catch me live, then you can catch me on Chowtown on YouTube. Chow as in the Sonic Chow, not eating chow. I just released a new video. First video essay, working on my next script right now. And Brandon is also working on some stuff. This was episode 43 of the Midnight Channel. We love you, and we will see you all next time. Goodbye, everyone.